Hello everybody and welcome to another video, and today I am very excited. Today I'm going to be looking at the new track by My Dying Bride. They released it yesterday, I believe. Now I've mentioned a few times before, aside from Megadeth, My Dying Bride are my favourite band of all time. I absolutely love this band. I've had the privilege of actually going to see them live a couple of times. I've even met Aaron Stainthorpe when I went to see My Dying Bride and Rotting Christ back in 2002, just after the Dreadful Hours album came out. So, you know, they're a band that I really do enjoy. I absolutely love their music. So, yeah, I'm very excited for this. Now, anybody who doesn't know who My Dying Bride are, where have you been? What have you been hiding under? But little information. My Dying Bride are an English doom metal band formed in Bradford around 1990. To date, they have released 12 full-length studio albums, 3 EPs, 1 demo, 1 box set, 4 compilation albums, 1 live album, and 1 live CD/DVD release. Along with Anathema and Paradise Lost, My Dying Bride were a forerunner of the death, doom metal and gothic metal genres around the early 1990s. The band is considered one of the Peaceville Three, as all 3 of these bands were signed to Peaceville Records at the same time, or round about the same time. So they're a very long-standing band, they're very well established, and like I said, one of my favourite band, or possibly my favourite band of all time. Yeah, so I'm very much looking forward to this. Now, they released a new track called Your Broken Shore. I've got quite high expectations for this, maybe I shouldn't do. But one thing I do love about My Dying Bride is the way Aaron writes his lyrics. He's got such a mastery of the language, and, you know, a lot of his songs are written more as poems put to music. You know, some of my favourites being tracks like The Light at the End of the World, which I think is one of the most beautiful pieces of music and beautiful songs I have ever heard. And, you know, quite often that song actually brings a tear to my eye because it is quite an emotional song. But anyway, I digress. We'll jump into this track. Like I said, very excited for this. So, yeah, My Dying Bride, Your Broken Shore. Let's have a look. There we go. Your Broken Shore by My Dying Bride, and predictably, I absolutely love that song. That is it's such a beautiful piece of music, so beautifully sung and amazingly performed. I mean, one of the main things I love about Aaron Stainthorpe is the way he can put so much emotion and passion into his voice when he's singing. You know, if he's singing about heartbreak, you can hear the heartbreak in his voice. You know, it is. It's they are just easily like my favourite band of all time. You know, right up there. You know, Megadeth being the band that got me into metal, but My Dying Bride, I just absolutely love everything they've ever done. Um, and this is no exception. This is just another phenomenal piece of music. Now, a fair few of their songs seem to talk about love and loss, and this track itself seems to be along a similar sort of path. Now, whilst the vocals themselves were fairly plain and easy to hear within the song, let's still have a look at what they were. It goes, "From my deep silence they feed the fire, building a gift from this broken lyre. Forsaking your face, my fingers blind, I touch the lonely face of your crime." You know, and he's doing all this in his clean, sort of heartrending vocal style. Then he comes into the growled, harsh vocals, which has been a mainstay through pretty much their entire career. I think there might have been one or two albums where they weren't so prominent, but it goes, "The doom of your broken shore, it washes over me, hair woven of the sea." Then he goes back into the clean vocals. "Your sleeping boat drifts away from me, a broken sister now out to sea. I have lived through the depths of time. I spit the blood, and she was the crime. I spilt the blood, sorry, and she was the crime." Then there was a sort of really nice, long, sort of musical interlude. Again, beautifully performed. I mean, the way they combine the sounds of these instruments. You know, they've got the violin, which I've said on many occasions, I absolutely adore the sound of the violin. They've also got a cello going on in there, you know, and along with all of the other instruments, you know, the guitars, the bass, the drums, you know, they just produce such beautiful sounding music. And then it came back in with your sleep. No, your. Let's try again. "The doom of your broken shore, it washes over me, hair woven of the sun and sea." He then repeats that again, but combining both the clean and the growled vocals. The same lines: "The doom of your broken shore, it washes over me, hair woven of the sun and the sea." And then they repeat that again a couple more times. And then goes, "Stolen from a dead man's heart, remember me sad, I was your art. The voice of my blood orates, touched by the sacred horrors of the hour. The doom of your broken shore, it washes over me, hair woven of the sun and the sea." You know, and this isn't one of their more complex written songs, you know, but it's still beautifully written. The way he crafts his lyrics is fantastic. He manages to write it such a beautiful way. Of course, you know, I might be biased being, you know, how much I absolutely adore this band, but I love the way he writes. You know, he manages to tell stories through his lyrics. I mean, this is actually a fairly short track for them. A lot of their tracks, you know, can be quite long. But this, again, such a beautiful, beautiful piece of music. A little sort of hint of Paradise Lost sounding at the beginning, but My Dying Bride is one of those bands where you hear a piece of music and you can immediately identify that it's them. They have a very, very specific sound. You know, with bands like Paradise Lost as well, when you hear a piece of music by Paradise Lost, you can immediately tell it's them just by the sound. You know, they don't even have to utter a single word in vocals. You know it's them just by the sound. And you know, the same stands for My Dying Bride. And, you know, again, absolutely stunning piece of music. I really can't wait to hear the new album. I've been a fan of My Dying Bride for many, many years. Like I say, I've seen them a few times live, and they are just as amazing live as they are on recording. And yeah, absolutely love this band. Like I said, I love the passion with which he sings. I love the way he projects the emotions of the song through his voice. You know, the pain, the anguish, the heartbreak. You know, the anger, the fury. You know, the way he puts those through in the music. It's just amazing. But again, I could also be biased, like I said, because you know this is a band that I absolutely love and adore. Phenomenal piece of music. I really can't wait for the album. I'm so excited to hear that. And you can rest assured, as soon as I get my hands on that album, I will be writing a review on that. And probably listening to it until everybody in the house gets sick of the damn thing. But I'm going to stop there, because otherwise I'm just going to keep gushing over and over and over about how much I love this band. Normally I would have paused the song halfway through to talk about it, but I couldn't interrupt that music. That was just pure brilliance, pure beauty in music. But I'm going to leave that as it is for the time being. Now, if anybody would like to suggest a track for me to react to, then please do so by all means. You can drop a comment in the comment section below, or message me on my Facebook or my Instagram, or even message me through my Patreon, where you can also help to support this channel, help me create future content. There is also an option in there where you can get your suggestion jumped to the front of the queue. There are limitations to that, however, in order to be fair to people who suggest tracks through normal means such as YouTube, Facebook and Instagram. If you do suggest a track through the regular means, do know it might take me a while to get around to it, since I get suggested so many new tracks every single day that my list grows faster than I can record the videos. But I do write down every suggestion that I get, so it will get done eventually. It just might take me a while to get around to it. Also, Metalhead Reacts is a proud supporter of the Sophie Lancaster Foundation, a British-based charity whose main goal is to put an end to hate crimes, mainly those involving people of the alternative culture, people who listen to alternative music and wear alternative fashion. Something I'm very, very passionate about, something I think needs more attention bringing to it, and something that definitely needs speaking about more. Because every day all over the world, people are getting violently attacked. You know, brutally beaten, sometimes even hospitalised, you know, getting bones broken, possibly even invasive injuries like being stabbed or otherwise, just because of their taste in music. And nothing's getting done about it, you know. There's no reduction happening in these crimes, and that needs to change. Because, you know, every day we hear about all these other hate crimes like sexism, racism, homophobia, transphobia, etc., etc. You know, we hear about these every day in all corners of the media. You know, from the most vile and disgusting attacks like murders, etc., down to the smallest thing like some entitled Karen calling the police because a family is having a picnic and she doesn't agree with it. You know, we hear all aspects of these crimes every single day, but we're not hearing anything about these people that are getting violently attacked every single day just because of their taste in music. And by not talking about it, by not doing anything about it, we're essentially letting them get away with it. You know, people are getting severely injured. People are brutally attacked. You know, like I said, hospitalised or having bones broken or worse. And it never gets spoken about. The last time anything like this was widespread spoken about in the media was 12 years ago, when Sophie Lancaster and her boyfriend Rob Melby were violently attacked, brutally beaten by a group of 5 or 6 people. And subsequently, you know, Rob Melby and Sophie Lancaster both ended up in a coma. Rob Melby, he thankfully survived. He came out of a coma after about a week or so. I can't remember exactly how long, but Sophie Lancaster was in a coma for 13 days before she succumbed to her injuries. You know, she was murdered, essentially, because of her taste in music. And that is unacceptable. And the fact that this happened 12 years ago, and we've not really had any media coverage of anything similar happening since. But I guarantee you, in that 12 years since that happened, hundreds, if not thousands of people of the alternative community have been attacked in similar manner. And the main reason we're not hearing anything about it is because no one died. And it shouldn't take the death of someone, it shouldn't take a tragedy for this to get spoken about. It needs to be addressed. It needs to be fixed. We need to talk about this. We need to put a stop to this. We need to let these people that are perpetrating these attacks know that there are consequences to their action, and they will face, the penalties that go with it. Causing someone bodily harm just because you don't like their taste in music is just pure ridiculousness. If you don't like the music, don't listen to it. We're not forcing you to listen to it. If you don't like the clothes someone's wearing, don't look at them. It's very, very simple. There are infinite directions you can look. None of those things are an excuse to violently attack someone. It needs to change. We cannot let what's happened to Sophie Lancaster happen again. It should never have happened in the first place. And this is what the Sophie Lancaster Foundation is all about. They want to bring more attention to the fact that this is happening. They want to prevent what happened to Sophie Lancaster ever happening again. They don't want to see another family go through what they went through when they had to watch their daughter slowly die over the course of 2 weeks. We've got to put a stop to this. We need to bring more attention to this. We need more people talking about it so it can be addressed and something be done about it. So if you'd like to find out more about the Sophie Lancaster Foundation, there is a link to their website in the description below. You can go over there, find out what they're working on at the moment, find out what their main goal is, because they can explain it so much better than I can. And if you can help them out in any small way, obviously you don't feel obligated to do so, but if you can help them out in any small way, if it's something as small as like a small donation through their website, or even something as simple as one of these Sophie wristbands from their web store, the smallest amount can make the biggest difference, and the sooner we bring more attention to this, the sooner we can help to stamp out prejudice, hatred, and intolerance everywhere. But I'm going to leave that as it is for the time being. Thank you all very, very much for watching, and I'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.